Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to explore something that has become a cornerstone of our daily lives, texting. But, more specifically, the simple phrase, "Text me when you have time." It's a phrase many of us have used, and it holds within it a deep, often overlooked power. This phrase is more than just a polite sign-off. It is a call to acknowledge something fundamental, our time. In a world that moves at a breakneck pace, where we are bombarded with notifications and endless distractions, the simple act of texting becomes a reflection of our desire to connect, to be seen, and to be understood. But here's the thing, our time is precious. How we use it speaks volumes about how we value not just ourselves, but those around us. When you send that message, "Text me when you have time," you are, in essence, offering permission for the other person to take a step back. You're saying, "I understand that your time is as valuable as mine, and I am not rushing you. Take the time you need, and when you're ready, we can connect." This is a reflection of something profound: respect for boundaries. We all have our own schedules, our own rhythms, and in acknowledging someone else's space and time, we honor their needs. But let's not forget that this phrase also reminds us of our own priorities. How often do we find ourselves trying to juggle multiple conversations, all while feeling overwhelmed and distracted? In a world where everyone is vying for a piece of our attention, we must recognize the importance of setting boundaries. Time is something we can never get back. Once it's gone, it's gone. So, it's essential that we manage our time thoughtfully, choosing to engage meaningfully and being present for the things that matter most. And here's something even more beautiful to consider when you say, "Text me when you have time." It's a way of extending empathy. It's a way of telling the person on the other side of that screen that you understand the complexity of their life. It acknowledges that they may have other commitments or that they may simply need space to breathe. Empathy in communication strengthens our relationships because it allows for a deeper connection. So, as we reflect on the way we communicate, let's remember this simple truth. Time is not just something we give away lightly. Every message we send, every interaction we have, is an investment in someone or something. And how we choose to spend that time, how we respect others' time, and how we set our own boundaries, these things shape the very quality of our connections. As you continue your day and think about how you spend your time, remember, it's not always about the rush. Sometimes it's about pausing, respecting, and allowing space for the moments that truly matter. And in that space, you'll find the depth of connection you've been seeking all along. In today's fast-paced world, communication has evolved dramatically, and one of the most significant changes has been the advent of texting. What was once a simple form of sending short messages has now transformed into a powerful tool that influences how we form and maintain relationships. Whether it's a simple hello, a quick update, or an urgent question, texting has become the go-to mode of communication for many. But beneath the surface of these seemingly casual exchanges lies a deeper truth: the power of connection. Texting allows us to reach out across distances, creating an invisible thread that links us to others. The moment we send a message, we initiate a connection, a potential conversation that can bridge gaps in time, space, and circumstance. It gives us the ability to maintain relationships in ways that were unimaginable just a few decades ago. Whether it's a friend who lives across the country, a family member overseas, or a colleague just down the hall, Texting offers a quick and convenient means of keeping in touch. In this way, it has become more than just a form of communication. It's a lifeline that sustains the bonds between people. But beyond just the ability to connect, texting is also a reflection of the changing dynamics of how we connect. In the past, a phone call or face-to-face conversation was often the primary method of communication. But texting has changed that. It provides a platform for more immediate interactions, allowing for real-time exchanges that are sometimes more casual, but still meaningful. Texting removes many of the barriers that traditionally existed in communication. For instance, it eliminates the need for a lengthy conversation or the need to arrange a time to meet in person. Instead, messages can be sent at any time, allowing for a level of convenience that was previously unattainable. The tone of our voice, the expression on our face, and the body language we use all contribute to how we connect with others. These things are lost in a text, leaving us with words on a screen that can sometimes be misinterpreted or misunderstood. True connection requires more than just a series of short messages. It requires engagement, understanding, and time. What's fascinating about texting, and perhaps the most significant aspect of its power, is the way it reflects our evolving approach to communication. We live in an age where time is often seen as a commodity, something in short supply and constantly in demand. Texting allows us to connect without having to carve out large chunks of time in our busy schedules. It provides a level of flexibility that traditional forms of communication don't. And in doing so, it allows us to keep up with the people who matter to us, even when we're caught up in the demands of daily life. In a sense, texting has become a symbol of how we navigate our relationships in the modern world. It's a testament to our ability to stay connected, even when physical presence isn't always possible. But while texting is undeniably powerful, it's crucial to remember that it's not the only way to foster connection. Sometimes, the most meaningful connections happen when we put down our phones and have real, unfiltered conversations. The power of texting lies in its ability to complement these deeper forms of connection, not replace them. At the end of the day, texting has reshaped the way we connect with one another, but it has also highlighted the need for balance. It's a tool that can enhance relationships, but it can't take the place of authentic, in-person engagement. The key to truly fostering connection lies in understanding when to use texting and when to invest in more direct forms of communication. In this digital age, finding that balance is essential for building strong, lasting relationships. Time is one of the most valuable resources we have. Once it's gone, we can never get it back. And yet, we often take it for granted, allowing it to slip away in small increments that add up over time. In a world that moves at a rapid pace, it's easy to get caught up in the demands of our personal and professional lives, leaving little room to reflect on how we truly spend our time. The importance of time cannot be overstated, especially when we realize just how much of it we spend on things that may not align with our true priorities. In today's society, we're often pulled in 1,000 different directions, whether it's work, family, social obligations, or personal pursuits. There's always something vying for our attention. The temptation is to try and keep up with it all, to manage every single responsibility as if it were equally important. But in doing so, we risk losing sight of the things that truly matter. The concept of time management, in its simplest form, is the recognition that our time is finite and that we must choose how to spend it wisely. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, but how we use that time can vary dramatically from person to person. Some people seem to juggle multiple responsibilities effortlessly, while others struggle to keep up with even the basics. This disparity often comes down to how we prioritize our time. When we understand the importance of time, we are more likely to make intentional decisions about how we allocate it. The way we view and manage time also has a profound impact on our relationships. Time is the foundation upon which we build our connections with others. The people in our lives, whether family, friends, or colleagues, rely on us to be present with them. This doesn't just mean physically being there. It means giving them our undivided attention, valuing the moments we spend together, and showing them that they are important enough to deserve our time. When we don't prioritize these moments, relationships can start to feel strained or superficial. The quality of our interactions becomes diluted, and we may begin to wonder why our connections don't feel as deep or meaningful as they once did. But the importance of time also extends beyond our relationships with others. It's also about our relationship with ourselves. In the hustle and bustle of everyday life, we often overlook the need for personal time for rest, reflection, and self-care. Without this, we risk burning out, becoming disconnected from our inner selves, and losing sight of our own needs and aspirations. Taking time for ourselves isn't selfish. It's essential for maintaining our overall well-being and being able to show up fully for others. In fact, when we take the time to recharge and nurture ourselves, we become more effective in all areas of our lives. We are better partners, better parents, better employees, and better friends because we are in a better place mentally, emotionally, and physically. The concept of time also ties closely to the idea of setting boundaries. We often find ourselves saying yes to too many things out of a sense of obligation or fear of disappointing others. However, when we do this, we end up overcommitting ourselves and spreading ourselves too thin. This not only affects the quality of our work and relationships, but it also leaves us with little time for the things that bring us joy and fulfillment. Setting boundaries around our time allows us to protect it and ensure that we are investing it in the things that truly matter. It's about recognizing that saying no to some things is necessary in order to say yes to the things that align with our values and goals. It's also worth noting that time, in the context of our personal growth, is a tool for reflection. As we go through life, we encounter experiences that shape who we are. When we take the time to reflect on these experiences, we gain insight into our strengths, weaknesses, and desires. This self-awareness is crucial for making informed decisions about how we want to spend our time in the future. By looking back on how we've used our time in the past, we can adjust our approach moving forward and ensure that we are living in alignment with our deepest values. Ultimately, the importance of time lies in how we choose to invest it. It's about making deliberate, conscious decisions about what we prioritize in our lives. When we acknowledge that time is limited, we become more intentional in how we allocate it. We begin to focus on what truly adds value to our lives and let go of the distractions and obligations that don't serve us. This, in turn, leads to a more purposeful, fulfilling existence. One where our relationships are stronger, our personal growth is nurtured, and our time is spent in ways that are truly meaningful. In a world where we are constantly connected, one of the most important skills we can develop is the ability to set boundaries. Boundaries are not just about saying no to others. They are a way to protect our time, our energy, and our mental well-being. In a society that often demands more than we can give, setting healthy boundaries has become essential for maintaining a sense of balance and purpose in our lives. Whether it's at work, in our personal relationships, or within ourselves, Boundaries help us define where we end and others begin, allowing us to preserve our own sense of self and our own priorities. One of the most common challenges we face in setting boundaries is the fear of disappointing others. We live in a culture that often equates busyness with success and productivity. There is a societal expectation to be available at all times, to be constantly on, and to juggle multiple responsibilities without complaint. But the reality is that this constant hustle leads to burnout, stress, and a diminished ability to truly connect with those around us. The truth is, when we overcommit ourselves and say yes to every request, we are not doing anyone a service, not ourselves, not our families, and not our colleagues. By setting boundaries, we can manage our time and energy more effectively, ensuring that we have enough left to give to the people and activities that matter most. Boundaries, when respected, not only protect us, but they also allow our relationships to flourish. In the context of personal relationships, healthy boundaries mean being clear about what we need, what we can offer, and what we are not willing to tolerate. It's about ensuring that we don't lose ourselves in the process of trying to meet everyone else's expectations. For example, if we are constantly saying yes to every social engagement, work request, or family obligation, we may end up sacrificing the time we need to recharge or engage in our own personal growth. Over time, this can lead to resentment, burnout, and a lack of fulfillment. By setting boundaries, we are not only protecting ourselves, but also allowing our relationships to thrive on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding. It's important to remember that setting boundaries is not a one-time act, but an ongoing process. Boundaries are fluid and may shift depending on our circumstances, priorities, and life stages. What might have been acceptable at one point in our lives may no longer serve us as we grow and change. For example, a person who once found fulfillment in a demanding career may reach a point where they realize they need to scale back in order to focus more on family, health, or personal hobbies. Similarly, someone who has always been the go-to person for their friends and family may need to set clearer boundaries to ensure they don't neglect their own well-being. As we evolve, so too should our boundaries, and it's essential to regularly check in with ourselves to ensure they are still aligned with our values and goals. The act of setting boundaries also teaches others how to treat us. When we communicate our needs clearly and respectfully, we create an environment where others understand and respect our limits. This is particularly important in professional settings, where boundaries help us maintain a healthy work-life balance. Without clear boundaries, work can easily bleed into personal time, leaving us with little room to rest, recharge, or pursue our own interests. By setting boundaries at work, whether it's limiting the hours we are available for meetings or refusing to take on additional tasks when we are already overwhelmed, we send the message that our time is valuable and that we are committed to doing our best work without sacrificing our well-being. The challenge with boundaries is that they can sometimes be met with resistance. People may not understand why we are saying no or why we are limiting our availability. They may feel hurt or disappointed, but that is part of the process. It's important to recognize that setting boundaries is an act of self-care, not selfishness. When we take care of ourselves and honor our own needs, we are in a better position to show up fully for others. Additionally, setting boundaries helps prevent the erosion of our time and energy, ensuring that we can give our best selves to those who truly matter. By setting clear boundaries, we can find the balance we need to nurture our relationships, pursue our passions, and take care of ourselves in the process. Ultimately, setting boundaries is an empowering act. It allows us to take control of our time and energy, to prioritize the things that matter most, and to cultivate healthier, more fulfilling relationships. When we set boundaries, we not only protect ourselves, but also invite others to engage with us in a more authentic and respectful way. Boundaries are not walls. They are invitations to engage in a way that honors who we are and what we need. By embracing this practice, we can live more intentionally, with a deeper sense of purpose and connection. Empathy in communication is a powerful force that can transform our interactions, deepening our relationships and fostering mutual understanding. In a world where it is often easier to be disconnected or distracted, taking the time to truly listen, understand, and validate another person's feelings can make all the difference. Empathy is not just about feeling sorry for someone or offering sympathy. It is about stepping into their shoes, experiencing the world through their eyes, and responding in a way that demonstrates respect, care, and acknowledgement. It is a skill that, when cultivated, can enhance all areas of our lives, from personal relationships to professional endeavors. At its core, empathy requires us to be present with others, to give them our full attention, and to engage in a way that shows we care about their experience. This is particularly important in the age of digital communication, where texts, emails, and social media interactions can sometimes feel impersonal or rushed. With the constant barrage of notifications and the pressure to respond quickly, it is easy to lose sight of the human aspect of communication. However, when we approach our interactions with empathy, we create space for deeper, more meaningful connections. Empathy is especially crucial in moments of difficulty or conflict. When someone is going through a tough time, whether it be a personal loss, a professional setback, or a moment of uncertainty, they often need more than just advice or solutions. They need to feel heard and understood. When we respond with empathy, we offer validation, letting the other person know that their feelings are legitimate and worthy of attention. This simple act of acknowledging someone's emotions can be incredibly healing and can foster a sense of trust and safety in the relationship. By being empathetic, we show that we are not just concerned with the facts of the situation, but with the emotional experience that accompanies it. Moreover, empathy has the power to break down barriers between people. It encourages openness and vulnerability, allowing individuals to share their thoughts and feelings without fear of judgment. When we listen with empathy, we create an environment where others feel comfortable expressing themselves honestly, knowing they will not be met with criticism or dismissal. This openness can lead to more productive conversations, where solutions are found collaboratively and with mutual respect. In contrast, when empathy is lacking, communication can become defensive, fragmented, and disconnected, often resulting in misunderstandings or unresolved issues. Empathy also plays a critical role in building stronger relationships. Whether with family, friends, coworkers, or even strangers, our ability to empathize with others can strengthen the bond we share with them. Empathy allows us to see beyond our own perspective, to appreciate the unique experiences, challenges, and values that shape someone else's worldview. By recognizing and honoring those differences, we cultivate a sense of connection and appreciation that transcends surface-level interactions. When we engage with empathy, we are more likely to offer support, encouragement, and understanding, all of which are essential for maintaining healthy, lasting relationships. In the workplace, empathy is just as vital. It can improve communication, collaboration, and teamwork, as it encourages individuals to be more attuned to the needs and concerns of their colleagues. When leaders show empathy, they create a supportive and inclusive environment where employees feel valued and understood. This, in turn, leads to higher levels of job satisfaction, productivity, and loyalty. Empathy in the workplace also fosters creativity and problem solving, as it encourages diverse perspectives and open dialogue. When people feel heard and respected, they are more likely to contribute ideas and solutions that can benefit the entire team or organization.